The room you step into is hard on the eyes. White walls, a white desk, a man in a bright white suit jacket, and a red dress shirt with a white tie. There's nothing new about this room for you. You've been here before to receive missions for your agency, but how does it make you feel?
Uncomfortable in such a clean environment, almost too sterile in appearance when usually given such a dirty task from it.
The man in the bright white jacket looks at you and says, Mr. Sun, we have a new task for you. As I'm sure you're aware, there's been an uptick in monster sightings within the walls, and the guild is having some trouble dealing with these cases. Just as we were about to reach out to them, a small startup organization seems to have taken the job. They go by the name Middle Tower and feature a few graduates from Lacrimosa University. Nothing too scary there, but I've been looking at some of the faces they're hiring, and some of them could be, well, problematic. I'll give you the run through of faces before I send you on your way, but I want you to work with them for now. Get close to them, and keep an eye on them. Most importantly, keep them in line and make sure they don't learn more than they need to. They'll be
Mm.
investigating monster incidents after all, and as we know, none of these sightings can be considered normal by any means. Any questions?
Yeah, just one. Are we expecting any of these individuals to be problematic to Lacrimosa or the people within it?
We don't know yet. We just know that all of these new employees, these new hunters, none of them have a normal background, which isn't surprising for a hunter. But let me let me get into some of the details and maybe you'll get a picture.
His expression sours a bit, Mr. Sun suddenly realizing that he will, yet again, be working with new hunters. Case that typically doesn't last very long.
You see the man put a stack of papers on his desk. You can only assume they are the files of the various hunters he had just mentioned. Here we have Enlil, a woman I believe you've met before under circumstances. A high-ranking hunter who originated in Frostholm.
He looks away in shame. Yeah, I'm familiar with her.
There's Noah Vale, a formerly terrible thief who is currently working in Middle Tower as a way to earn his way back into the walls as some sort of partner program with the guild. There's Wallace, a hermit who lives voluntarily in South Ward and spends most of his time on Mananet. And we've been tracking some of his activity, and it's hard to put together. It's very conspiracy theorist nonsense, but at the same time, he seems to be one of the smarter ones of the bunch.
Great, a blogger.
There's James, a sect member from Frostholm, sent over to investigate the happenings here in Lacrimosa that just arrived not too long ago, only about a day or two. William Crawford, a boy who lives with his relatives, lost his parents a while back to some monsters they were hunting out in the field. They were extremely skilled hunters, but managed to run into something. The perpetrator still hasn't been identified as of yet.
Don't
Uh,
tell me this is a boy looking for revenge.
that is unknown at this point.
He pinches the bridge of his nose and gestures for him to continue.
There's Ash, I believe her full name is Ashlyn Smith. Uh, we don't know much other than she's a student from Heliosphere who was transferred over recently to Lacrimosa University. A rare situation, but she seems to be adept at manipulating mana and has been caught on a few occasions starting fires in places that she's not supposed to. There is M, a wanderer who is rumored to have accidents follow them wherever they go. They don't seem to stick in one place as far as our sources gather, but our sources have certainly, well, seen some of these accidents. There's Z. They are. We don't. Again, we don't have much on them, which I can't stress enough is surprising for any of these individuals. Because, as I'm sure you're aware, we have dirt on almost everyone in this city.
I'm intimately familiar with that, yes.
So, to have someone with so little record show up out of nowhere doing what seems to be bounty work is eyebrow raising, to say the least.
They go by Z.
Just Z.
I might like them.
There's Steel, a kid, no older than, what, 15, 16? And again, almost nothing on them. It seems that they were born and raised here, but no information on lineage or just anything. They seem to be living outside of the walls for the most part, but
Hmm.
I don't know why a hunting organization would hire a child.
I'll make sure to put in an order with Sargas for candy for them. What is Middle Tower doing?
Finally, there's our very own Red, who was scouted for this organization as well.
How did they?
I don't know. Do you see the problem here, Mr. Sun? All of them are special cases. Scouted because of their unique circumstances or based off of some information that we don't have, rather than just their skill. The Everbright sisters know something. I simply don't know what.
And I'm gonna take a random guess and say somebody's reached out for me as well.
Well, we have taken some matters into our own hands and reached out ourselves to Middle Tower, offering an agent. That agent, of course, being you. And they don't seem skeptical, but they may know more than they're letting on.
Well, if I've lived this long working for Celestine, it only makes sense. A little bit of a partnership is made. I'll make sure to report anything I find, and hopefully their group does not cause an early termination for myself.
Oh, I would expect a lot from you, Mr. Sun. You have a fairly good track record with us.
Reaches up and rubs one of the scars on the side of his neck. Yep, sure am hardy.
Well, here is their location, and he gives you an address across the table, and along with the files for all the hunters at Middle Tower.
Mr. Sun lifts up the files, taking a brief moment to open them and thumb through the papers within. There really isn't a lot in here, huh? Very well. I'll be on my way then, Mr. Algal.
And he nods and leans back in his seat and gives you a small wave goodbye as you walk out the door. Now, I will give you a quick choice here of action.
Mm.
Do you want to take any form of action, such as investigate a mystery, read a bad situation, any of that?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to try to read, uh, based off of the information I've received and the team that is being put together, just what the motives could possibly be. That is a sharp then.
That is a 6. That is a failure. You head home with the files that Mr. Sun has given you, and you start thumbing through, and you get on your Manatech network and start just trying to dig up any information you can from any of the forums. You head to uh, the guild itself and start thumbing through some of the files there and seeing if you can find anything on them, and you just come up empty. You cannot figure out a single connection between any of these mysterious characters other than the fact that they are themselves mysterious.
Well, I always get cryptic missions, so only makes sense. At least I have names and faces to go off.
A few days later, you head in for your first day on the job. Uh, all you were told was this was supposed to be sort of an icebreaker day. You were supposed to meet some of the other hunters and meet the staff. And you walk in the door and are greeted by the smiling face of a woman who is a bit younger than you, only around the age of maybe 24, 25, you could guess, with bright red hair and a clipboard. And she says, "Hello, and welcome to Middle Tower.